Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Chikanis, Kala, on behalf of the leadership of AmCham Greece, AmCham Cyprus, and AmCham Egypt, I am truly honored and privileged to welcome you all. Distinguished members of the three organizations and our colleagues at the US Chamber of Commerce, all joining us now through live broadcast to celebrate this very special day. With the global pandemic, while it has negatively impacted everyone, it has in a way brought us closer together as AmCham communities throughout the world to shed light on our common challenges and to discuss the potential for joint collaboration. This ceremony marks the beginning of a new era of regional cooperation between three very active AmChams in three very close neighboring countries that are united through a history that dates back thousands of years when Alexander the Great founded Alexandria in the year 332 BC as a center of enlightenment for centuries and a meeting point for all Mediterranean cultures when Greece, Cyprus, and Egypt were part of the Hellenistic world. United through solid cultural and social ties. Greek monuments and the Greek quarter in Alexandria resided by many, including myself, by the way, a bond that helped define who we are today. Geographical boundaries with our cities surrounded by the blue waters of the Mediterranean. And finally, with the discovery of massive gas reserves, we are now united through a dream of an energy hub that caters for the neighboring countries. Today's signing ceremony is a launch in the history of our organizations, demonstrating our willingness to promote trade, business, and investment between our members and with the United States. This partnership became a reality thanks to our dear friends with whom we are now partners. Mr. Elias Spirtounias, Executive Director of the American Hellenic Chamber of Commerce, Ms. Leah Riri, Member of the Board, AmCham Cyprus. Without taking much of your precious time, please allow me to walk you through our program for today. Following welcoming remarks by Mr. Nikos Bakatsilos, President of AmCham Greece, Haris Kakoulis, President of AmCham Cyprus, and Dr. Sherif Kamil, President of AmCham Egypt, we will be joined virtually by Mr. Myron Brilliant, Executive Vice President and Head of International Affairs at the US Chamber of Commerce. Following that, we'll be sharing the expertise of the Honorable Jonathan Cohen, an US Ambassador to Egypt, the Honorable Judith Garber, US Ambassador to Cyprus, and the Honorable Jeffrey Pyatt, US Ambassador to Greece. The Memorandum of Understanding will then be signed in the presence of the heads of diplomatic missions of the three countries, as well as with the deputy ministers of foreign affairs, all honoring us with their presence today. And now I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. Elias Spirtounias from the AmCham Greece. Thank you all. Understanding will then be signed in the presence of the heads of diplomatic missions of the three countries, as well as with the deputy ministers of foreign affairs, all honoring us with their presence today. And now I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. Elias Spartounis from the AmCham Greece. Thank you all. Understanding will then be signed in the presence of the heads of diplomatic missions of the three countries, as well as with the deputy ministers of foreign affairs.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Us with their
Very
presence today.
great introduction, referring to the histories of our countries. Dear ministers, ambassadors, dear members of the boards and members of the American AmCham in Egypt, Cyprus, and Greece. It's a great pleasure for all of us here in AmCham Greece that today, with the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between our AmChams, we are setting up a platform for economic, business, and trade collaboration, not only for our members, but for the wider entrepreneurial communities of our countries. We'd very much like to have this ceremony run with all of us being physically at the same place, but still, despite the difficulties due to the pandemic, we managed to set it up in a hybrid mode, in a way that we do hope it will transmit the message that our AmChams want to send. One question that might rise is, why AmChams? Because we are part of a very large and powerful worldwide business network, and at the same time we share some common values and ideas about economic, trade, and business development for the benefit of all. Our AmChams sincerely hope, and we will work on that, so that this initiative will pave the way for exploring economic and business prospects that are opened with a series of joint activities we plan to run soon. Without further words, and after thanking all the people in the three AmChams whom we worked with for the preparation of the memorandum and today's event, I will pass the floor to the presidents of the three AmChams, starting from the president of AmCham Greece, Mr. Nikolaos Bakatsalos. Mr. President.
Thank you, Elias. Thank you, Sylvia. Dear ambassadors, dear colleagues at AmChams, Cyprus and Egypt, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to start by thanking everyone present during today's signing, either physically in Cairo, Nicosia, and Athens, or digitally from wherever you're joining us. Long ago, the Mediterranean was known as the Middle Sea, because for centuries it provided the principal means of communication between empires and civilizations. Today, the Mediterranean is reclaiming some of that legacy. Today, the limitless potential of the region is on full display, and this gathering is especially noteworthy because the United States, represented by US ambassadors of the three countries, Jonathan Cohen, US ambassador to Egypt, Jeffrey Pyatt, US ambassador to Greece, and Judith Garber, US ambassador to Cyprus, and Myron Brilliant, executive vice president and head of international affairs, US Chamber of Commerce, are also participating in this signing ceremony. Speaking on behalf of AmCham Greece, it makes us really proud to be part of this agreement, as it is another step towards cooperation and partnership, promoting even deeper and broader ties between our three chambers and our three countries. As it has been stated, this agreement is an additional step following the trilateral agreement signed by the governments of the three countries, and it symbolizes the role that economic and business cooperation between the countries can play to the stability, growth, and prosperity of the southeastern Mediterranean for the benefit of the people in this region. With the signing of this agreement, we will pursue opportunities in areas such as energy, transportation, manufacturing, financial services, and technology. We will promote other common goals and benefit from the experiences of each other. This MOU showcases that regional and international cooperation in business brings people together, and it's a stabilization factor to the region. It builds on the premise that dependable partners sharing common interests and values can become strong allies, and strong alliances in an integrated Eastern Mediterranean can be a game changer in this vital part of the world and could serve as a model for future cross-border development far beyond. This is not only an advantage of the three regional countries, but also the advantage of the US, that needs and has reliable allies who share both interest and values. Today's signing is particularly interesting as it coincides, by accident, if I may add, with Prime Minister Mitsotakis' visit to Cyprus to discuss with his Cypriot and Egyptian counterparts the results and progress of the trilateral agreement and the development of the pandemic. In closing, as AmCham Greece, I would like to make absolutely clear that we are fully committed in generating new momentum that invigorates our relationship even more in Greece, in Cyprus, in Egypt, and in the US with our partners. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Bakatselos, for your kind introduction. And now let me pass the floor to the President of AmCham Cyprus, dear friend Haris Kakoulis. Mr. Kakoulis, you have the floor is yours.
Thank you, Elias, and thank you, Sylvia, for the introductions. Excellencies, ambassadors, US ambassadors to Cyprus, Egypt, and Greece, Judith Garber, Jonathan Cohen, and Geoffrey Pyatt, Mr. Myron Brilliant, Executive VP and Head of International Affairs of the US Chamber of Commerce, Presidents of AmChams of Egypt and Greece, Mr. Kamel and Mr. Bakatselos, members of the boards of all three AmChams, AmCham members and distinguished guests. Today, our three AmChams are meeting to officially establish a new partnership. AmCham Cyprus has been in communication during the last few months with our colleagues at the AmChams of Egypt and Greece, with Mrs. Sylvia Menassa, the CEO of AmCham Egypt, and Mr. Elias Spirtounias, the Executive Director of AmCham Greece, with the aim to identify ways to establish formal and consistent cooperation and open channels of communication between our chambers. We very easily agreed to sign this memorandum of understanding. And it was easy because we share common ideas and objectives. Our desire to promote the development of trade, investment, and business and economic relations between our members and other business players in our countries, as well as the USA. The primary objective of our Memorandum of Understanding is to establish a general cooperation framework for the benefit of our members. This will be done by maintaining open channels of communication, regularly exchange market information, exploit business opportunities, and organize business delegations in our countries, provide support to our members, and to provide assistance to other business people who visit or inquire about each other's country. We would like to see ourselves in the future co-organize meetings, seminars, trade exhibitions, workshops, and conferences in the region and potentially in the United States of America. We have committed to encourage and support the participation of our member companies in these events. We will further coordinate to develop a business network which will facilitate the circulation of business opportunities. We will provide assistance to each other where possible to identify suitable partners interested in investment, business, and technical collaboration in relation to the implementation of business projects taking place in our countries. The three countries' governments managed during the past years to strengthen their relationships, create and search for further opportunities for cooperation, and work together for a better economic and business environment in this area through which the citizens of their countries could enjoy a higher standard of living. Today, where the 8th Trilateral Summit is taking place in Nicosia, Cyprus President Nikos Anastasiadis, Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis are meeting to re-emphasize our country's regional alliance and commitment to stability, as well as express our determination to work together on the political and economic front. The summit seeks to deepen regional cooperation, focusing on the cooperation in the fields of energy, migration, combating terrorism, as well as the COVID-19 pandemic. The three countries continue to foster their political alliance on their energy cooperation. This cooperation has led to the creation of the East Med Gas Forum, and an electricity energy connector is being built to connect Egypt, Greece, and Cyprus with the rest of Europe. Our governments and our AmChams are satisfied with these developments and are taking further actions to fully materialize these plans, as well as commence other initiatives to promote stability and security in our area. The role of the United States is unquestionably vital in the region. Amid all geopolitical developments in the southeastern Mediterranean basin and the wider Middle East, Cyprus can continue to play a very important role in offering a safe harbor for American and other businesses. With Cyprus' commitment and actions to improve its attractiveness and competitiveness as a regional business center, we are confident and expect that American presence and investments in Cyprus will further increase. AmCham Cyprus believes that our continuous improvement as a trading partner is instrumental in rendering Cyprus an important regional player, yet this cannot be achieved without forging strong relationships and partnerships with other countries and organized business groups such as the one established for our meeting today. Combining our forces will result in more opportunities, more synergies, and higher value to our members and countries. AmCham Cyprus is honored and very excited about the prospects of this MOU, and we are looking forward to working with you and contribute through our common efforts to our region's economic and business prosperity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kakoulis. Thank you, Harris, and thank you for your support and for your great collaboration we have so far, dear friends from AmCham Cyprus. And now, I pass the floor to the chairman of AmCham Egypt, Dr. Sharif Kamel. Salam alaikum, Mr. Kalem, and we're looking forward to see you in person.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon for those of you joining from Egypt and from the region. Good morning for those connecting from the United States. AmCham members, distinguished ambassadors and guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of AmCham Egypt Board of Governors, it is my sincere pleasure to welcome you, whether you are with us here or virtually from around the world, for the signing ceremony of the MOU between AmCham Cyprus, AmCham Egypt, and AmCham Greece. Good afternoon for those of you. We are delighted to have with us today the Honorable Jonathan Cohen, U.S. Ambassador to Egypt, for those His Excellency Nicholas Karilidis, the Ambassador of Greece to Egypt, and Mr. Christos Kougakis, the Commercial Counselor of the Embassy of Cyprus. I'm also pleased to welcome His Excellency Ambassador Badr Abdelati, Egypt's Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs for European Affairs. Digitally, I also would like to welcome my colleagues, Mr. Harris Kakoulis, the President of AmCham Cyprus, and Mr. Nicholas Bakalseos, the President of AmCham Greece. Also, I welcome the Honorable Judith Garber, U.S. Ambassador to Cyprus, and the Honorable Jeffrey Pyatt, U.S. Ambassador to Greece. Last but not least, I'd like to welcome our friend, Myron Brilliant, Executive Vice President and Head of International Affairs at U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Today marks a special day for the AmCham community in the Eastern Mediterranean region. Egypt, Greece, and Cyprus have enjoyed strong relations for many, many years. And today, AmCham Egypt, as AmCham Egypt, we are delighted with this partnership with two friends and neighboring AmChams, with whom we have had strong ties Executive Vice President for a long time. Also today, just to strengthen and to endorse the current and future prospects for the development, economic development of Egypt and its neighbors and friends in the Eastern Mediterranean region. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi is actually, as said by my colleague, is visiting Cyprus as part of the continuous dialogue between our respective nations for future collaboration on multiple fronts. We are signing today a partnership to establish a general cooperation framework between the three organizations to promote trade, investment, business and economic relations between the AmCham members and more generally between Cyprus, Egypt, Greece and the United States. As AmCham Egypt, as we approach our 40th anniversary, as part of the continuous dialogue, we're proud to be one of the largest affiliates of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, connecting more than 1,900 senior executives through a membership network that spans different businesses and industries. Similar to other AmChams around the world, our mission between the AmCham members is to strengthen business and economic ties between our country and the United States. We carry out our mission through advocating on behalf of our members as their voice for a favorable and competitive business environment, promoting trade and investment and fostering a socially responsible ecosystem, as well as working with the government to build an environment that attracts U.S. investments and where a robust, agile, and competitive private sector can generate jobs and help deliver economic growth and prosperity. Furthermore, as AmCham Egypt, as a founding member of this and the Secretariat of the Middle East North Africa Council of Regional AmCham, comprising of 11 AmChams, AmCham Egypt actively connects our members to help exchange knowledge, experience, and avail various opportunities for cooperation. We as AmCham Egypt are firm believers in the value that the partnership we are signing today will bring to our members, with cooperation ranging from the regular exchange of market information and sharing business opportunities to the organization of business delegations and trade exhibitions, promoting the interest of all AmCham member companies in each of our respective countries that relate to promoting investment, industrial cooperation, innovation, entrepreneurship, and technology transfer among venues for business and economic cooperation. The three AmCham organizations have also agreed to coordinate their efforts to develop a business network to facilitate the circulation of business opportunities available among the members of our respective nations. We as AmChams in the Middle Eastern Mediterranean region, as leading business organizations, each in our respective countries, should work on fostering close ties between our members, learning and benefiting from each of our experiences, and finding business opportunities between each other and with the United States, given our close working relationship with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Let this new cooperation framework be a catalyst for our continued dialogue with the United States to create and expand business opportunities between the United States and our respective nations. We're extremely excited to be signing this memorandum, and I wish everybody all the best. Thank you. For our continued dialogue with the United States to create and expand business opportunities between the United States and our respective nations. We're extremely excited to be signing this memorandum, and I wish everybody all the best. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody, and good morning in Washington. It's a real pleasure to be here and witnessing this. I think it's a momentous event, a new event. Welcome, ambassadors, welcome, executive directors, welcome, presidents of the chambers. It's a pleasure for me to introduce somebody that you all apparently know, Mr. Myron Brilliant. He's Executive Vice President and Head of International Affairs at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, our mothership, so to speak, of all AmChams around the world. Myron drives the global business strategy of the whole organization in Washington. He's in charge of all international affairs. During his tenure in that post, he has expanded the global footprint of the U.S. Chamber all over the world. Over his career, Myron has directed and led a number of important advocacy campaigns for congressional passage of trade agreements. He has fought for a business-friendly and advocacy for all businesses around the world, and especially with AmChams. He leads 15 business councils, and I think we are around 120 AmChams around the world. Myron has frequently quoted in the media a broad range of issues in international business, especially in trade issues. He has been very active, especially with China and the issues between China and the United States. He's a real China expert. Myron is being quoted and has attended many media events, sometimes to his detriment. I'll let him talk about that. And he really is an active and a promoter of AmChams for around the world. Before I turn you over to Myron, I'd really like to thank the Middle East and European teams at the U.S. Chamber for their hard and active work. Myron, please take it over.
Hisham, thank you for that very kind and warm introduction. And let me just say that your counsel, your partnership, your friendship has meant a lot to the entire...
Before I turn you over to Myron, I'd really like to thank the Middle East and European teams at the U.S. Chamber for their hard and active work. Myron, please take it over.
Thank you, Hisham, for your kind and generous introduction. Your remarks. Hisham, thank you for that very kind and warm... We're having an echo here. And let me just say that your counsel, your partnership, your friendship has meant a lot to the entire...
Before I turn you over to Myron, I'd really like to thank the Middle East and European teams at the U.S. Chamber for their...
Can we fix this echo, please? Before I get going, can we fix this echo? Tell me when we're ready. Okay, let me again begin. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry. We seem to have had an echo and a technical challenge here, but let me begin by thanking Hisham for that very generous and warm introduction. Hisham, you're not only a good friend, but you're a partner, you're an advisor, you're a counsel to the U.S. Chamber as we engage, not just with Egypt, but throughout the Mediterranean region. I want to thank all my friends who are here today from the AmCham community, but let me just also acknowledge that I'm joined today by Kush Joxy, the Senior Vice President for the Middle East, and Marjorie Jorlands, the Senior Vice President for Europe. Both of them have been working very effectively with the AmChams in the Middle East and in Europe for many years, and we welcome and support our friendship. Sylvia, I thought at the outset, set the tone in the right direction. At the height of a global pandemic, we have choices. We can either retreat and focus on our own national interests, or we can come together as a community and make sure that our partnership drives fundamental change in the way we interact with each other. And I think what we've done and what we see through AmCham Greece and AmCham Cyprus and AmCham Egypt is an effort to build connectivity, to strengthen a foundation that exists, but to deepen it in profound ways. And I applaud the three AmChams for your collective effort here. Harris, I thought, also echoed a very important point. The United States is 20 plus days away from a national election, which is quite complex. And of course, the outcome is quite important for the direction of our country. But regardless of the outcome, regardless of who wins the presidency, there is no question that the Eastern Mediterranean region is critical to the United States. And you should guarantee not only American investment and engagement in the region, but government intervention and engagement as well. And I think that's echoed by the fact that we have three ambassadors here today who are here as representatives of the United States in Cyprus, Greece, and of course in Egypt. And I just want to give a shout out to Ambassador Cohen, of course, Ambassador Payet and Ambassador Garber for being here today, demonstrating the close connectivity between government and the private sector to spur investment and trade in a critically important region of the world. I really want to applaud all the members of the AmCham family that are working here today on building this connectivity. American business in our respective countries must draw together, must connect, must partner to bring markets closer together. And here today, we have a shining example in the Eastern Mediterranean region, building on the work of energy, but bring greater cooperation in so many areas across the economies. The Chamber views itself as the voice of American business. This is something Hisham referenced. We represent the interests of 3 million companies of every size and sector in our economy. We are the largest international government relations program in the country, and we operate all over the world. But we're not effective if we're not working closely with the American Chamber community around the world. The 118 members of the U.S. Chamber that are AmChams are critical to our family. They are part of our network, and we work very closely with all of them. That's why we're so proud to be part of today's event. Our friends with us today from Egypt, Greece, and Cyprus embody the spirit of partnership. And if I think about the work we've done with Egypt over the years, the foundation we built with the support of the American Chamber in building the U.S.-Egyptian Business Council is mirrored in the partnership that we have with AmCham Egypt in so many other areas as well. And under the outstanding leadership of Sylvia and Sharif, we have continued to grow that partnership in ways that extend well beyond the bilateral relationship. But of course, we've engaged with President Sisi and the Prime Minister and many ministers of Egypt through our partnership. And a long track record of working together to advance commercial and investment interests is embodied again in the spirit of what this event is about today. We're also so proud of the deep ties that we have with our partners in AmCham Greece, which is admirably led by Elias and Nikos. I have to say that hosting regular Greek ministers and business delegations led by the AmCham and working through the U.S. Chamber of Commerce allows us to strengthen our resolve to work on Europe energy forums. And I want to acknowledge that we can go deeper and support the efforts of AmCham Greece in this work. I think also it's important to note that U.S. companies and investors in Cyprus are well represented by AmCham Cyprus, by Leah and Harris. And you heard President Harris speak today about the role of Cyprus in the Eastern Mediterranean and the important work that's being done with Greece and, of course, with Egypt. And it's going to become even more important in the years ahead. We look forward to deepening our relationship with AmCham there as well. We're fortunate to work with both AmCham Greece and Cyprus in the context of the broader AmCham network in Europe to help grow the transatlantic trade and investment relationship. And likewise, we are proud and pleased that AmCham Egypt is a driving force for regional integration and an anchor across the Middle East to advocate for a better investment environment for American businesses. While these bilateral relationships and our work in both continents will continue, today is about creating a new multilateral relationship and building new strategic bridges for the private sector. Today's MOU signing marks an important milestone in strengthening collaboration in the Eastern Mediterranean region. And with the vision of creating new avenues of trade and investment that span Europe and the Middle East. The empowering approach will further solidify economic ties between the three countries and build upon the important developments we've witnessed in recent months with the official launch of the Eastern Mediterranean Gas Forum. In fact, in early March, we were pleased to host government and business leaders in Washington for a major event focused on the EMGF. We look forward to continuing to support the EMGF, and energy integration is one of the critical roles that, of course, this forum will play. But we have more work to do than just promote the energy sector. Today's agreement, we believe, sparks new ties and commercial cooperation across a range of sectors, such as what Nicholas said: tourism, health, e-commerce, finance, and transportation are sectors we should be driving more integration with. The model of inter-regional AmCham cooperation as an architecture for other models to be followed, or other AmChams to follow, is one that I think is very creative and bold and innovative in its thinking. And I hope we can encourage such partnerships around the world as well. Today, as we celebrate this historical milestone, we encourage everyone to think about what comes next and how the U.S. Chamber in Washington can be helpful. We will come out of this global pandemic, but we will only do that if we work together in a globally connected way. And the AmChams can lead in this example and illustration. We want to wish all of you great success. We want to celebrate in today's milestone event, and we want to inaugurate new relationships and deepen economic partnerships across the three AmChams. So I congratulate all of you for the work that's been put in and the work that will be put in the years ahead. And I say to all of you, count on America's leadership and engagement in this region. Count on the U.S. Chamber to be a trusted partner. And thank you for bringing us into today's very special event. I only wish we could be there in person. Next time we will be, I promise. Thank you.
Myron, thank you very much for your comments, your positiveness. And definitely the three AmChams are looking forward to a very strong cooperation in the region. And hopefully with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, this cooperation will be more fruitful. It's my honor and privilege to call to the podiums the Excellencies, ambassadors of the United States to Egypt, Greece, and Cyprus, Honorable Cohen, Honorable Piat, and Honorable Garber. First, I would like, please, Honorable Cohen to come to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Haris. Good afternoon, dear friends in Cairo, Athens, Nicosia, and Washington. I'm so happy to be with you here today. Congratulations. For decades, the American Chamber of Commerce in Egypt has been the U.S. Embassy's vital partner in boosting trade and investment between the United States and Egypt. Egypt is the U.S.'s largest export market on the African continent, and bilateral trade has grown by nearly 76% just since 2016. The United States is also the third largest source of foreign investment in Egypt, and our companies are thriving in critical sectors across this growing economy. We owe much of our success on economic and commercial issues in Egypt to our outstanding cooperation with the American Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank our friends at AmCham for their long-standing partnership and, of course, for including me in today's event. It's especially nice to be together with old friends from Greece and Cyprus, along with my excellent Egyptian partners. With the signing of this agreement, AmCham Egypt joins forces with AmCham Greece and AmCham Cyprus to promote increased trade and investment among the United States, Egypt, Greece, and Cyprus. The agreement highlights the U.S. private sector's essential role, not just in advancing bilateral commercial ties, but also in supporting deeper economic integration among Eastern Mediterranean countries. Like you, we believe that a strong, empowered private sector is the best way to generate jobs and to deliver economic growth, economic development, and overall prosperity. But we also recognize that the relationships you build every day have a positive impact that goes well beyond economics. This memorandum, as well as the recent establishment of the Eastern Mediterranean Gas Forum, underscore the private sector's vital role in deepening international cooperation and promoting regional stability. We applaud your commitment to expanding trade and investment and to building the people-to-people ties that will inevitably follow and that are fundamental in the relations between our countries. And as always, the U.S. Embassy in Cairo, like our counterparts in Athens and Nicosia, will be with you every step of the way. Building partnerships and supporting our companies are among the most important aspects of my work as the U.S. Ambassador in Egypt and for my colleagues in Nicosia and in Athens, as they were when I was the Deputy Chief of Mission in Cyprus and the Deputy Assistant Secretary for the Eastern Mediterranean, and had a chance to work with a number of people who are on the virtual end of this conversation from us here in Cairo. My team and I will continue to engage the Egyptian government and you, the business community, to shape the business environment in Egypt and throughout the Eastern Mediterranean so that it attracts and retains more and more U.S. investment. America means business in Egypt and in the Eastern Mediterranean. We have important work ahead of us, and these three AmChams are central to our success in that regard. We admire and value your spirit, your success, and your partnership with our embassies, and look forward to accomplishing our important work together with you. Thank you very much. In Egypt and throughout the Eastern Mediterranean, so that it attracts.
Thank you, Ambassador Cohen. I would like now to invite to the podium Ambassador Piat. Ambassador.
Kalispera Sas, Nico, Elias. It's a tremendous pleasure to join you and my colleagues and friends, Ambassadors Cohen and Garber, for the signing of this MOU to enhance economic, business, and trade collaboration among our respective countries. I also want to congratulate the Chambers on your superb timing in scheduling this event the same day as the successful summit meeting between Prime Minister Mitsotakis and his counterparts from Cyprus and Egypt. All of this helps to reinforce the United States' strategic focus on the Eastern Mediterranean and complements what we have been doing with Congress through the East Med Act and with Secretary Pompeo's leadership in the 3+1 in Israel, all aimed at positioning the United States for this new era of resumed great power competition in the Eastern Mediterranean. I applaud the efforts of all our AmCham partners who realize the importance of looking beyond borders and embracing opportunities for regional collaboration. And I'm confident that this agreement will benefit your member companies, along with reinforcing peace and prosperity in this wider region. When Secretary of State Pompeo visited Greece last month, the United States reaffirmed our shared views on the importance of dialogue and cooperation to create opportunity in the Eastern Mediterranean. One important pillar of that collaboration is our commitment to strengthening our cooperation with Greece, Cyprus, and Israel through the 3+1 framework that Secretary Pompeo launched in Jerusalem in 2019. And in the same way, I'm confident that we will support the trilateral between Greece, Cyprus, and Egypt. The East Med Act, passed with strong bipartisan support in our Congress last year and signed into law by President Trump in December, reinforces our whole-of-government effort to advance these strategic regional energy, economic, and security partnerships. We talked a lot about the Eastern Mediterranean during the Secretary's visit to Souda Bay in Crete with Prime Minister Mitsotakis, Foreign Minister Dendias, and Defense Minister Paniatopoulos. And together, we underlined United States support for Greece's leadership in this challenging region. Today's MOU complements and strengthens this regional vision. The more that the nations of the Eastern Mediterranean and the Western Balkans invest in these collaborative arrangements, the more durable they will become. We all win. My embassy colleagues and I are incredibly proud of our record of collaboration with the American Hellenic Chamber of Commerce, one of our most important and long-standing partners here in Greece. As one example, our efforts to bring the very best of American technology and innovation to the Thessaloniki International Fair in 2018 has led to U.S. technology giants like Microsoft, Pfizer, Cisco, and Google expanding their footprints here in Greece. Just last month, Microsoft announced that it will invest hundreds of millions of dollars in a complex of data centers around Athens, by far the largest investment that Microsoft has made in its long history here. And that's just the start. Pfizer, Cisco, and Deloitte have built digital hubs and innovation centers in Thessaloniki to take advantage of the city's highly skilled university graduates and Thessaloniki's position as the international gateway of opportunity for the Western Balkans. As Nikos and Elias can attest, Secretary Pompeo's visit to Thessaloniki last month highlighted the U.S. commitment to continuing to deepen and expand the American business footprint in Greece. The Secretary also participated in an energy roundtable with a delegation from the Greek government, Greek private companies, and from North Macedonia that demonstrated how Greece and its neighbors are coming together to redraw the energy map of southeastern Europe. Together, we are committed to diversifying European energy sources and routes. And this same logic drives American support for the East Med Gas Forum and our participation in the 3+1 energy dialogues. Our countries share a vision of the future, where collaboration across multiple sectors leads to greater prosperity and shared security. We welcome all who are ready to cooperate on the basis of international law and the peaceful resolution of disputes. So congratulations again on signing this forward-looking MOU, an important step towards realizing our country's shared goals. I assure you the United States will remain a great partner as together we advance regional initiatives that strengthen political and economic relations in this critical region. Together, I know we will succeed. Evharistopoli.
Ambassador Payet, thank you very much for your remarks. And now it's the time for the U.S. Ambassador to Cyprus, the Honorable Judith Garber, Ambassador, please.
Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to our colleagues in Washington. As the last of your speakers, I'll be brief. So much has already been said. As others have mentioned, today's trilateral in Nicosia with President Anastasiades, President Sisi, and Prime Minister Mitsotakis is the perfect backdrop to today's events. Regional collaboration across both the public and private sector is essential to peace and prosperity in the Eastern Mediterranean region and a vital component of U.S. strategic interests in the region. The variety of regional formats emerging demonstrate how we can all work together to promote greater stability and prosperity in the Eastern Mediterranean region. Whether it is developing energy supplies and integration, fighting terrorism and transnational crime, environmental protection, resisting the influence of malign actors, or attracting the right kinds of trade and investment, countries in the region must work together. And the United States is committed to supporting you in those efforts. These regional partnerships, particularly in economic affairs, are especially important for the Republic of Cyprus. The Cypriot economy and domestic market are small, but by partnering through regional formats, Cyprus can contribute to and benefit from a greater scope of opportunities through collaboration with her larger neighbors like Egypt and Greece. And in the process, Cyprus has a chance to show off its amazing potential to individual investors and businesses interested in the region. Having focused on economic issues for much of my career, I am particularly pleased to see AmCham leading the way for developing regional business ties. As AmChams, you all have a role to play in the post-COVID economic recovery of your respective nations. You each will face challenges, but as Myron Brilliant noted, doing so in collaboration will bolster your efforts. Build on each other's strengths, learn from each other, share resources and opportunities to create synergies. This will signal to the rest of the world that the Eastern Mediterranean is open to working together to achieve a brighter future for all. Here in Cyprus, the U.S. Embassy is a strong advocate of the Republic of Cyprus's efforts to develop an integrated strategy and action plan for engaging the U.S. market. We are proud to support AmCham Cyprus as a key stakeholder in that effort. And we know that AmCham's regional partnerships, like this one with Greece and Egypt, are an essential ingredient to its success. As has been made clear by Ambassador Pyatt, Ambassador Cohen, and myself, the United States fully supports your regional collaboration efforts. We are so excited by the potential that it offers. On behalf of myself and my team, I pledge to support you in any way possible as you implement this memorandum of understandings. Congratulations, and I look forward to being here next time to celebrate with you your joint achievements under the MOU.
And now, to sign the Memorandum of Understanding for joint collaboration between the three partners, I'd like to call on the presidents of the three AmChams to please come to the stage. The memorandum will be witnessed by the US ambassadors to Greece, to Egypt, and to Cyprus, and the heads of the diplomatic missions of the countries. In the case of Egypt, I'd like to also welcome Ambassador Nikolaos Garilidis, Ambassador of Greece, to the stage to witness the signing, Mr. Christos Gogakis, Commercial Counselor of Cyprus, and Ambassador Bedr Abdelachi, Egypt's Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs for European Affairs. Thank you all. Please, you should stand. Thank you.
Δεν είναι ταυτόχρονα. Sylvia, are we signing the agreement right now? Yes, we do. Harris? Πρόεδρε, δείξε το signing, το document. I would like to ask all the members here to come and get a picture of all of us, being here. Also the representatives of the embassies, please.